One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
Greetings, this is Tai Brown and welcome to One Question. Our guest today is Kyle Vasey. Kyle is the Assistant Athletics Director for Strategic Planning at the University of Alabama. Greetings, Kyle. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Now, the role you're in, Assistant AD for Strategic Planning, isn't seen in many athletic programs. Can you give us just a simple synopsis or overview of the position and why it was created?
Sure. Absolutely. So the main core or function of my position is really data analytics. My job is to take any data source that we have available and to try to centralize that data, to try to analyze it, digest it, and then summarize that information, present it back to people who are above me so that they can make more strategic decisions based on that information. And my position is really divided into two major focuses. We have the business side, which primarily focuses with departments such as ticketing, marketing, fundraising, business office. And we have the sports performance side as well, which we try to approach our student athletes in a more strategic way based on the different metrics that we're tracking. And so the ultimate goal of that position is to take all the different data sources that we have and, again, try to make more strategic decisions based on that information. And the real purpose or need for the position was that all these departments had all this information at their disposal, and they were tracking this information, but the problem was they were so busy in their day-to-day activities, they didn't really have a dedicated person to go in and actually track this information, report on it, and try to make better decisions based on the information that we were actually gathering. And so that's the ultimate goal of this position, is to try to make those better, more scientific and accurate decisions based on the information we have.
Okay, so you have your hands in business of the athletics department as well as the competitive aspect in terms of the student athletes. That's interesting. You're going on 6 months in this position. How do you see, since you've been there the 6 months, how has it helped Alabama execute and enhance its athletics mission?
Yeah, so I've been very fortunate that since I've been here in the last 6 months, the person who hired me, Greg Byrne, has fully embraced this analytical effort and has been fully supportive in that, and that's really trickled down throughout the rest of the organization. And so everybody that I've come in contact with has been fully supportive of everything we're doing from an analytical perspective, and so it's allowed us to make a pretty big imprint within Alabama athletics. And that's not to say that we're all gung-ho and doing everything from an analytical perspective, because we're definitely not. Alabama's had a great deal of success in the past based on the decisions that they've already been making. We have a lot of very intelligent and very smart people here who have been doing things a certain way. But what data analytics has allowed us to do is to justify a lot of those decisions, and also validate a lot of those decisions. And I'm hopeful as well what data analytics will allow us to do in the future is to be able to approach decisions from a more scientific perspective. From a ticketing perspective, what should we be pricing our tickets at? From a marketing perspective, how can we better engage our fans? What messages better resonate with our fans? What types of people are purchasing our tickets? From a fundraising perspective, what types of prospects are we not currently contacting? Are there any people who are out there who we could potentially reach out to? And then from a sports performance side, how can we better engage and interact with our student athletes in order to increase their performance on the playing surface? How can we potentially prevent injury from making sure that our athletes are on the playing surface as much as possible? All those different things we're trying to look at from an analytical perspective in order to make better decisions as we move forward as a department.
So do you receive constant streams of data? And when you have that data, do you have a matrix of different softwares and Excel spreadsheets spread out on 4 or 5 different screens? Like how do you digest? This sounds like a whole lot, especially with athletes on the performance aspect. It sounds like a whole lot of information coming to you.
Absolutely. So I've been fortunate, especially on the sports performance side, that Jeff Allen, who's our director of sports medicine, along with the rest of his training staff, already had a fantastic program set up here once I arrived. And so I've really just been a supplement to what they've been doing on their end. They've really have a great program already set up, and so what we're trying to do is try to transition all of that into one centralized system. That's the ultimate goal, so we can kind of summarize all that information in one kind of one-stop shop. And we're trying to do the same thing on the business side as well, trying to take all that, like you mentioned, all those different spreadsheets and all those different matrices and stuff like that, try to put them all in one centralized hub so that we can kind of flow all the information into one place, visualize it in one place, and make decisions based on all that information.
Right. Well, you might want to get with the IT department on campus, or maybe the students who are studying that, and create a software that allows you to do that kind of thing, unless there are things like that that are already out there.
Yeah, so there's a few programs that are already out there we're looking into, and then we're definitely collaborating with various outlets on campus as well. And then I've been fortunate again that our IT staff here at Alabama has been great and fully supportive of everything we're doing, and they've been really great in trying to investigate what programs are out there that might be the best for us, as well as developing stuff in-house, whether that's working with different departments on campus or just developing it in-house within athletics IT.
Right. So now you've been doing it for 6 months. Has that been enough time for you to look at it, enough data points to actually advise Byrne on a decision that he's made? Like, has there been a significant decision and you've provided information to help influence that decision?
Yeah, I believe so. It's more day-to-day things that we're really trying to do from a business side of things. The stuff that I would do for Greg specifically is going to be more big picture kind of things. And so we've done a couple one-off or special projects where he may look at something and long-term may make a decision based on that information. But the primary focus of my position is to try to just help from a day-to-day perspective in decision-making. And so it's maybe not something that Greg would directly interact with, but day-to-day decision-making based on the information we're putting out has hopefully been benefited by data analytics.
I would imagine it has. Now, your background, you are CPA, an MBA with an emphasis in accounting, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you started off as a student manager with basketball there at Arizona, and now you're in this position here at the University of Alabama. How do you think that prepared you for what you're doing now? Beyond just crunching numbers, there's a way of thinking and interacting with a whole bunch of people in the position you're in. How did your background prepare you for that?
Yeah, so like you said, my academic background is accounting and some finance as well, and so that has allowed me to approach decisions and different issues from an analytical perspective, which has definitely helped. And then my involvement as a student manager with the men's basketball team in Arizona also definitely helped me just understand kind of the business of college sports and understand that it's not like a normal business that you would normally run. Obviously, people within college athletics understand that, but from the outside looking in, it doesn't really make sense that we have two profitable entities and then everything else is typically unprofitable. It doesn't make sense from a business perspective, but it's allowed me to really understand that side of thing and also understand the relationships that are built within college athletics, as well as just the value of hard work. Being a student manager, you're definitely a low man on the totem pole. You definitely understand the amount of discipline that it takes, and you literally wipe up sweats for a living. And so that definitely allowed me to understand the value of hard work and also be able to learn from people above me, Coach Sean Miller at Arizona, as well as other people at Arizona. I was able to look up to, watch how they interacted with people on a day-to-day basis and try to model my day-to-day career as much as possible after them.
Okay, well, excellent. And last question here, do you see a position such as yours, which definitely in-house, I know they understand the value. Do you see this type of position popping up in different athletic departments around the country?
I'm hopeful. I'm definitely hopeful that this kind of position will continue to grow. I believe the future is definitely more data-driven. I believe not just within college athletics, but across all different spectrums of business, people are becoming more and more data-dependent. So I believe the more positions like this that we can infiltrate into college athletics would be really, really valuable for multiple departments so that we can use the data that we have at our disposal in order to make more strategic decisions.
Right. Well, Kyle, I think most of us who work in athletics know that Greg Byrne is one of the elephants of the industry, and for him to go out and make sure he brought you along to this position to help him execute and enhance the athletics mission there at University of Alabama says a lot about you. So I think you'll have a great future doing what you do and being in a role that people will be looking up to here pretty soon there at Alabama and in college athletics.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
No problem. And thank you for joining us on One Question.
All right. Thank you.
That was Kyle Vasey. Kyle is the Assistant Athletics Director for Strategic Planning at University of Alabama. And this is Tai Brown with One Question. And keep in mind, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.